Hey everybody, how are you doing? We are here for a Texas Panhandle Christian businesswomen interview with Melissa Corvin. She's going to tell us a little bit today about herself and the products that she has to offer you and just how to have a great strategy to your new year. So, first, we're going to get to know her a little bit, which is kind of funny because I go to church with Melissa. So, I know some of these things about her, but maybe I'll learn something new as well. Just tell us a little bit about yourself today, Melissa, who you are, what you do, and let the other ladies know.
Awesome. Well, hey, everybody. I'm Melissa Corvin, and I have been here in the Texas Panhandle now 25 years, starting our 26th year, moved here in 1999. So I totally say I'm a Texan, even though I wasn't born and raised in the Panhandle. I do totally claim this area. And truthfully, when we first moved here, I started at college at West Texas A&M, and then in 2004, my husband and I started our different businesses. We kind of dabbled in a few different things, but I love the Texas Panhandle. And a little bit about me and what I feel called to do here is originally we moved here for the equine business industry. My husband is a professional cutting horse trainer, and so we own Zeb Corvin Performance Horses. And we came here to go to West Texas A&M because they have a great equine program. We thought this would be a good entryway to get into Texas because horses in Texas just make sense.
Yeah.
I had grown up in New Mexico, and it was a little bit of a harder industry to get your horse stuff going. So that's kind of why we originally came here. But now we have a couple of different businesses, and so I'll kind of get into those a little bit more. But we primarily do our horse stuff and live here in Canyon, actually. So that keeps us very busy. My kids now both ride, and I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son. But about 11 years ago, I started promoting and working with a company that is in the health and wellness space. Primarily, we help with weight loss, and I do help women that are really between the ages of 25 to 65, and they can be older too or younger, but those are kind of that target market of the women that I help, because I got started when I was in my mid-30s, just looking for something to help me with my health, and kind of I needed a whole package, a whole system. So that's how I
Great. I love hearing that. So tell me, behind everybody's business and the work that they do, there's typically a leading into it. Kind of tell me how God maybe put you into interest in that. I know you said that you needed some help. Is there a bigger story behind that?
Oh, Candice, there totally is. And so I didn't know at the time, because I honestly had been pretty healthy most of my childhood, and I was very active. I grew up riding horses and playing soccer. I played high school soccer, and I also was a high school cheerleader. And so I was on the go and active. I was also really active in 4-H and did leadership and serving the community through that. But then in 2005, so after we graduated college and I had started my career, I was actually in banking for 10 years. I was in a really bad car accident, and I crushed my leg. I had over 30 fractures and 15 pieces. And after 3 surgeries to try to fix all the bones, I got a staph infection. And that was like my first time of ever being really sick. And I had to be hospitalized for a couple of weeks. I was on IV antibiotics, and they had to do debriding. And so then that led to like a whole nother year of 6 different surgeries.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I never really had given a lot of thought. I mean, I always tried to be healthy as far as like I took health class. And so I knew drink your water, eat your vegetables,
Be active.
Yeah, be active. But I never had really given a thought to what makes the body healthy overall. I mean, I was an ag business major, and so I had to take a few animal science classes, but that was not my forte. I was more into marketing and more into the business side of things, accounting, and finance. And so I never really thought about biology, especially of the human body. Right?
Yeah. Especially the further into 40 you get, the more you're thinking about biology, right?
Of course. And when you're young, when you're in your 20s, you don't really think, oh, I'll get older.
Yeah. Everything just works.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I went through that experience, and I actually ended up having to use a wheelchair for 7 months. And so after that, I was more conscientious about my activity levels, what I could and couldn't do, what my body would let me do. And it gave me a whole new perspective on honestly helping others,
Right.
because I had to take things slower, and I had to consider where I parked, how long things would take. I remember when I was in high school driving behind a slower old lady and getting so frustrated and mad.
Yeah.
And then I became that person in my 20s.
Those prayers we pray for patience
Yeah.
eventually get answered, and it's usually through a way where we have to work it out in ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And so anyways, I kind of also thought too, I'm going to get totally better. I'm going to, everything is going to heal up and I'll never have problems again. And that didn't happen either.
Yeah.
So here I was in, 2014, after having 2 kids, doing my career in banking, and also putting on about 30 pounds because I couldn't be as active as I wanted to be. And when your body goes through a lot of trauma, you have inflammation. But 2, it's crazy how your gut health starts craving the simpler things. And if you eat a lot of processed foods, it craves that more. And I think because of convenience, I kind of switched our lifestyle to stuff.
Right.
And so in 2014, I was really looking for something that would kind of kickstart me back on weight loss, but also help my inflammation and my pain.
Wow. You can really see where the hand of God showed up. You were dealing with difficulties, but he pointed you in a direction and said, hey, Melissa, have you ever considered?
Exactly.
And it sounds like it opened up a great story.
Yeah, it really did.
So I'm going to imagine what you love most about what you do is you get to help people that are in similar areas of life that you were in.
Yes.
It may not have come through a car accident or something like that, but they have those internal struggles in their bodies, the biology that comes against us later in life. And you've been working through that.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, one of the gals that I recently, she joined my team, started using our product right about 3 years ago. She contacted me because she had similar struggles, but she didn't have a car accident. Hers was a work accident where she had injured her back really bad. And a lot of that led to some other, issues. Like she has a called Raynaud's. And it's more like around inflammation, pain, and stuff like that. But it was an onset that happened after her back accident. So, so that's opened up a lot of doors. And she lives in Washington State. It's like,
wow. So you're working with people all over the place. They are not necessarily in the Texas Panhandle. Of course, you've got your group here, but you do a lot of traveling.
Yes, I do get to go and do some traveling. And I do feel like that's also a little bit of how God's shown up in the journey and how it's been an open door, because originally when we have done all of our businesses, like Zeb's horse training business is totally brick and mortar, right? Well, when I got started in this, I started sharing and utilizing social media. And the thing about social media is that you have a huge reach. And I don't think I would have ever been able to reach as many people one-on-one.
Right.
Been able to do through social media. So then that's led to a whole nother avenue for part of my purpose and my passion, because I've been able to not only help people through my, testimony and sharing what's happened to me and how products, and the company that I'm partnered with is called Singular, by the way. I didn't say that. But we have been able to help them with, a complete system with coaching and support, a food plan, naturally sourced supplements. And then now we've added in a whole nother line of a referral program for telehealth and a teledoc to help people with specific things for longevity and weight loss. But it's led to this purpose of me being able to share with people across social media, because that can get even in your local area, like people get so busy and they can't always go to the place to do the business.
Right.
I've gotten in the habit of, ordering my groceries online and
Exactly.
picking them up. Right. And so it's been a whole nother purpose for me to be able to share and to witness to people, because
Yes.
it's opened that door for me to share my own experiences and my personal story.
That's great. I was just thinking too, that's another great connector within our group for you. You're very encouraging for the other ladies that are working various businesses. It may not tie to the health and wellness industry that you're in specifically, but even with our group page for this and growing the network, you are a big part of helping us get information out. This is a part of something that you helped organize, our interviews that we do. And so getting in the network, getting to know people like Melissa and the other group members, you're going to pick up bits and pieces, even if they're in a completely different industry than what you work in. So I love that camaraderie and that extra like teamwork that is brought in through our network because of those niches that others are so much better at than me. So,
and that's what I love too, Candice, is because, we each are gifted and God gives us different talents. And so part of what we do here in the business group is that we help people in their specific areas, but we work as referrals. We, help share each other's businesses and, services of what we do, so that if someone is looking specifically, for somebody that has an embroidery company,
yeah.
or something like that, we know a trusted resource to refer them to.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that we like to talk with all the different interviewees about is something unique about your business that reflects your personality or your calling. I just want to say, before she even speaks into this, Melissa's personality is to include and to add enthusiasm and excitement into the lives of everybody. And so I can just already tell you that this business is perfect for her because she's out there talking to people and bringing them in. And that is, she's just an enthusiastic person as a whole. So I can already speak to that. But what would you say?
Well, I do agree with that. And I do also think it's given me a little bit of a platform. So that's what I love about being an entrepreneur and being in a business for yourself, Candice, is because, I did work in corporate America for 10 years.
Right.
And I almost felt like I kind of had a little bit of a lid put on me, especially because I was working for a big corporation that was international. And so there was a lot that was limited on what you could say to somebody about their faith. Right. Or about things that maybe God was doing in your life. You kind of felt like you would get slapped on the hand or in trouble, right? And so another reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur and go into business for myself is because I felt like I'd be able to have that platform to share more about the Lord and what He's done in my life. And I know at the end of the day, Jesus is our main hope.
Yeah.
And so that was really important to me too, because as an entrepreneur, I have had a lot of times where I've had to completely lean on the Lord for things. And it wasn't of my own strength. It was His, or of what He put on the hearts of my customers or my team members. And I just had to kind of stand back and watch them work. And I feel like my faith has really grown by being in business for myself and having some of those mountaintop experiences, but then also having some of those valleys, because I have to walk through, that trust and really rely on the Lord. And it's funny because in high school, I went to a private Christian school before when I graduated, and they asked us, what's your favorite Bible verse? And then I chose Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which is trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight.
Exactly.
And guide you. I didn't know how practical I was going to have to.
Exactly.
So, but it's been a big blessing.
If we have new members in the group and you want them to know something about your product, excuse me, sorry. Okay. What is the one thing that you would want them to understand the most?
Well, so, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this next week when we do get to have our in-person event. We have it the fourth Tuesday of every month, and we have it as a luncheon. We also sometimes do evening or morning times where you can come and network. It just depends on some of our other admins. Like you're one of our admins, Candice. Thank you so much for serving. But they also will host either a morning or an evening, usually once a month. And then we try to do these interviews throughout the month. Where we post and if you have a business, we want to definitely highlight you and spotlight you too. So just a little plug for that.
Most times it's Melissa doing the interviews, but we thought it might be a little difficult for her to interview herself. So.
Yeah, although I had some ideas of how to change clothes.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah. So I actually, I feel like what I really want to tell people about with our business is that we have a brand new partnership. And so you may have experienced Zingular in the past. We've really grown in the area in the last, I would say 11, 12 years. And I have a few different partners in the Amarillo Canyon area that have really talked about and helped people on the nutraceutical side. Well, what nutraceuticals are is that's vitamins and supplements. Okay. And so a lot of people I know, especially because over the years you've heard, whether it's through health class or education on TV or different things, that you need a multivitamin, you need a probiotic, you need some of those things that really fill in the nutritional gaps for you. And it's best to get them from a naturally sourced plant-based product or company, right? So we have that, but then we have just partnered with, at the end of November of 2025 in November, we partnered with Open Loop, which is the #1 telehealth teledoc out there in the United States. Actually, they mostly service US. And what they do is that we have partnered with them to send them referrals so that our customer base or our partner base can go and get a personalized telehealth consultation for peptides. And what peptides are, this is a whole new area of education that I had to learn about myself. Yeah. But peptides are actually short chain amino acids that are in your body and in your system. But as you get older, the production of those peptides slows down, especially around telling your body to lose weight, maintain weight loss, control your appetite. Yeah. And so if you can increase your peptide production, it's actually a command to your body of slow down on eating. And that is important because obesity in America is a pandemic.
Right.
Like it really is a disease now.
That's probably the one we should have been talking about all along, right?
Yes. And so these commands, these personalized peptide program, you can get a consultation from licensed practitioners and professionals who will take in your personal information, medications you're on, weight, things like that. I'm not one of them, so I can't give advice, but I can refer you. And so I want people to know that we have that option or that opportunity. And telehealth has become a really big thing because so many people don't have the time to go sit in an office or sit in the doctor's office and stuff. Now, they're not going to prescribe things for like the common cold or, anything like that. It's all going to be around a wellness or a health or a longevity program. So things that are going to help you with maintaining muscle mass, getting better sleep and rest, helping you with energy, and then helping you with weight loss.
Perfect. So you were quite ambitious when you and Zeb were getting started, right? It seems like it was almost easy and natural for you to step in to that entrepreneurial spirit. But what would you say to the woman who is feeling called by the Lord to start something, but maybe it doesn't come naturally to them?
Well, I would say you're in the best place right here because there's so many of us that can help you with that calling and with that leading. We've had experience. We have connections. So we can tell you, okay, so if you need help with a business plan, there's some connections here. I actually recently invited my banker to our group. And so hopefully she'll be here this next week because I was like, Amy, you need to have some of these connections for women because they're small businesses and they're going to want to get started, but they're small business. Right. And that would be a good connection. So even if you, the biggest thing is you've got to follow that calling. If God's putting it on your heart, he's going to open the door and make the way. I actually was listening to someone that I like to listen to on podcasts and as a mentor. Her name is Terry Savelle Foy.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, and she was saying, when it comes to your calling, what if you get to heaven and God says, I called you to do that business, and you say, well, I never did. I didn't get to do that, Lord. I went to the bank and they turned me down. Well, how many banks did you go to? Right? How many questions did you ask?
Sometimes it's about pushing through.
Huh?
Yeah.
So even if it doesn't necessarily come natural to you, that's okay. You've got support here, and you've got connections right here in our group. And that's why we want to grow this group, because we believe in helping support small businesses, especially if they're based here in the Texas Panhandle, so that we can give back to the community, because we're all better together.
So let's really spotlight your business right here. Let's talk about services and products that you offer. Are there any specials this month or this quarter?
Yes.
What events do you have coming up? Give us the scoop on what's going on with Melissa Corbin and Singular.
So we're actually doing a sculpted challenge. It did start at the beginning of January, but it's all about getting yourself sculpted in the best fitness for you. So that doesn't necessarily mean weight loss. That could mean having a transformation of changing your eating habits, changing what you're drinking every single day. There is a private Facebook group for it, and it is free to join. If you do utilize our products, you're going to have better support and probably better results. But it is a private Facebook group. So if you want to participate in that and you just need some extra help along the way, we have that sculpted challenge. We also do have a special this month and for our collagen. And our collagen is a peach mango flavor. It comes in individual sticks, so it's really easy to take with you on the go. That's what I love about it. But you get a free bag, a free 30-day supply if you're a brand new enrollment, and you do get started with an order of $199 or more.
That's great. So what do you love most? I know that you said, you have your reach is wide. It's not just in the Texas Panhandle, but you're founded here, you're rooted here. What do you love most about business in the Texas Panhandle?
I honestly love that people really do want to support each other, and they really do want to help each other, even within the community. If there's a lost dog or there's, something going on within even the local community, people in the Texas Panhandle really are some of the friendliest people. I've traveled a lot, like you said, and I always love coming back home and back to these roots, because I really do feel like people care.
That's great. So again, our meetings are always the fourth Sunday or Tuesday of every month. And that is going to be January 27th. We're going to meet at noon at Eat Right. Yes. They'll end at about 1:30. If you need to leave earlier, we get it. Sometimes things are still going on and we got to get work done. But come for the part that you can. We're going to talk about our businesses. We're going to hear about Melissa's business. We're going to have some great fellowship, probably an opportunity to encourage one another in the work that we're doing. And absolutely, there will be prayer. We'll be praying. We'll take prayer requests and we will pray for those needs for everybody that's with us. So come and join us. It's going to be a great day. It's always fun whenever Melissa's a host of something. So she'll make us smile and feel great.
Yep. I'm excited to see everybody. You guys have a fantastic day.
It's going to be great. How was that?
That's great.